I looked through every single credit card in Canada, and today I'm going to give you my unbiased opinion on the top 5 credit cards in Canada, and I'll give you reasonings for each.
And I say unbiased opinion because there's so many credit card gurus out there that tells you my credit card is the best. And then they hit you with their referral link so that they will get a bonus when you sign up. So this video is not sponsored by any of these companies, and everything listed here is, I think, the best in my honest opinion. So if you appreciate me giving you my honest opinion, drop a like down below. That will help a lot with the YouTube algorithm with this video. Also, if you're new here, my name is Tony, and on this channel we upload 3 times a week on videos that add value to your life on topics of personal finance, sales, and entrepreneurship. So if any of these interest you, consider subscribing to the channel down below. Now with that out of the way, let's pop the intro. Before we jump into card number 5, I just want to let you know that this video does not apply to you if you don't pay off your credit card in full every single month, because the 20+% that the credit card company charges you is not worth any reward that you will be getting at all. Keep in mind there are 2 types of card, cashback and reward points. And reward points are infinitely better in terms of value, and you can basically use this strategy to never pay for an airline ticket ever again. So if you haven't checked it out, check out my video link down the description or above. I will go in depth of basically how to take advantage of credit card points and never pay for a flight again. However, for some people, points are just a big hassle for them, and they do not want to spend all the time learning about all the points and keep tracking of them. They may be building a business or their career, and they just don't want the hassle. They just want the most simple thing possible, and that's just what we're going to be talking about today, cashback. If you are one of these people, this video is designed to find you the best, simple to use cashback credit card for yourself. I'm not going to mention any sign-up bonuses in this video just because they change all the time, and also the chances are if you're the type of person that just wants it simple, you're not going to open, close, reopen, churn credit cards. So if you're interested in one of these cards, just do a quick Google search to find out their sign-up bonus at that time. Number 5 on the list is the American Express Simply Cashback Preferred Card. And this card basically keeps it simple. Get it? Keeps it simple? Okay, this card basically keeps it simple and gives you 2% cash back on everything. Only reason this card is number 5 is because in Canada, American Express is not widely accepted everywhere. Otherwise, it would be much higher in the list because 2%, believe it or not, is very solid in Canada. Card has a $99 annual fee and has a very good set of insurance benefits. I don't want to read all of those benefits just in case you don't care, so find out more through a quick Google search. 4 is the Tangerine Mastercard. The only reason again I placed this above the American Express Simply Cashback is just because it's a Mastercard and it's more widely accepted for some people that's running those one card wallet setups. It lets you pick 3 categories where you can earn 2% cash back on. And the categories could be something like dining, entertainment, groceries, gas, and so on. So basically pick 3 categories that you shop at the most and you just get 2% cash back on it. Pretty solid in my opinion. I mean, most people spend is pretty much like 3-ish categories anyways. And if they happen to change, you can actually change the categories at any time. This card has 2 versions, the normal one and the world one, as of 2020. And both of these have no annual fee, and they both gives you 2% cashback on 3 categories, so it's the same cashback. Difference is for the world one you need a annual income of $60,000, and for the normal one you just need $12,000, which is actually achievable by students getting a part-time job. And the world one just has a little bit more benefits and some other insurance coverage as well. However, if you don't meet the income requirement of the $60,000, you can just get the normal one and you won't be losing any cash back. You're just losing on some of the other benefits and the insurance coverage, which is not that much of a big deal actually. Number three is actually a two-way tie between these two cards. I really wanted to put both of these on here, and also millennials, you're gonna want to pay attention because these cards are the best restaurant cards you will find in Canada. The reason I wanted to include both of these on here because they are very similar. The Simply Financial's Visa and the Costco Capital One Mastercard. These are both no annual fee credit cards. However, you can argue that the Capital One, you do need a Costco membership with which costs money, and also the Simply Financial does need you to have an account with them. However, that is free. For you guys to look and compare of which is better for you, it's actually really subtle for the differences, but for you guys to compare which one you would use more, that which one would be better for you, I'll put the screenshot on screen right now. Alright, so starting with the Simply Financials card, this card, the biggest selling point is the restaurant section. You get 4% cashback on dining, up to $5,000 a year, which is in the fine print. So just do the math. If you spend more than $400 a month on restaurants, then maybe you might want to look elsewhere for that one. Okay, so moving on to the Capital One. The Capital One gives you 3% on dining. So again, these two are the highest cashback you will find in dining in Canada. So 3% back on dining and 2% off on gas and so this one is actually in the fine print as well. So it's kind of tricky how they put it, but I'll break it down for you here. So for the first $3,000 you spend on everything else except these two categories, you will get a 0.5% cashback, and for anything you spend after $3,000, you basically unlock the 1%. So both of these cards, I think they're really good for restaurants, but if you use it for anything else, for example, home office supplies, if you use it for those, you only get a 0.5% cashback, which isn't very competitive considering there are many cards out there that are higher with no annual fee. So I would recommend this card if you already have a primary card for everything else and you just want to maximize your cashback in terms of restaurants because you eat out a lot. Number two spot is also a three-way tie. I did want to include these three on here just because they all target the same market demographic, and also they're really similar, really subtle. So these are by the three big banks, and I'm gonna show all of them on screen right now. So the first one on screen here is the Scotia Visa Infinite. So this card basically gives you 4% cashback on groceries and recurring bill payments. That's probably the biggest selling point. And 2% back on gas and transit is pretty good, and 1% on everything else, which is standard for these Visa Infinite cards. Actually, all three of them are 1% on everything else. So next one we got the CIBC Dividend Visa Infinite card. This one also gives you 4% on groceries, but also 4% on gas instead of reoccurring bill payments. It gives you 2% off on Tim Hortons and Telus and 1% on everything else. So as you can see, these are really, really similar, and you can see more of these similarities when we get to the third card. But basically, they all target the same demographic, and some are just slightly better than another one depending on what you shop at more. You may have been seeing this third one already because of the sign up bonus that was flashing around about 6 months ago. But basically, we got the TD Cashback Visa Infinite card. This card gives you 3% cashback on groceries, gas, and reoccurring bill payments, but it's only 3% instead of the 4 and 1% on everything else. So you can see how these cards target the same demographic, people that spend most money on groceries, gas, and recurring payments. So depending on what you spend more on, any one of these three might make sense for yourself. And because it's that demographic, the annual fee is a little bit higher. So all of these three are Visa Infinite cards, being $60,000 annual fee. And one of the pros I listed here is um, most of these cards, again, research with your own bank. But if you have a checking account, for example, with TD, they will actually waive the annual fee. And most of these cards, you can actually get the annual fee waived as well. So it really depends on the bank and the promotion offer at that time. Taking the number 1 spot, we have the Rogers World Elite Mastercard. This is my personal favorite, and this is a 1.75% cashback on everything. And the reason why this is really good is because only 0.25% cashback less than the Simply Cash, but it's a MasterCard, so it's widely accepted everywhere, and you can basically just use this card forever and for anything and everything and never worry about it again. Because 1.75 is really solid and it can be used for basically every single category. It's also the best credit card if you travel or shop in any other currencies other than Canadian, for example, online shopping in USD, for example, because this card gives you a whopping 4% cashback if you shop at another currency other than Canadian currency. Just like every single other card mentioned in the video, there's a 2.5% foreign transaction fee. So after the fee, you basically net 1.5% cash back, which is still a win in my book if you shop at another currency, because normally you would be charged 2.5%. However, right now you're getting 1.5% net cash back. Put this as number 1 because it's so versatile and you can basically use this for everything and get a really competitive cashback, including popping over to the States and eliminating the need of taking out cash at all. Also used this card a bunch on my recent trip in Japan, so you just can't go wrong. And on top of that, this is a no annual fee card. Only downside is World Elite cards are really hard to qualify for. You need a income level of $80,000 and above, and also a really high credit score. So if you do qualify though, this is a no-brainer that you would get this card, because I just think it's the best card in my opinion, my friend. There you have it, guys, the top 5 credit card in Canada of 2020. I mean, more like 8, but the reason I wanted to include those other cards is, again, they're really similar to each other, and I feel like they're in the same target demographic, so I did want to give you guys more options, and options are always good. So check out my other videos on how to get the best value out of credit cards, how to get the most out of your credit card, and how to never pay for a plane ticket ever again using credit cards. And for some, they may be interested on learning how credit card works, so I have some information on that as well, all linked down in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Also, let me know down in the description if I missed anything and what is your favorite card and what you're thinking of getting. Also, if you enjoyed the video, give us a like down below. That would really help with the YouTube algorithm. On this channel, we upload 3 times a week on the topics of personal finance, sales, and entrepreneurship, with videos that add value to your life. So if you want to see more, subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time.